The rules have changed. This is a hat, cap I wear, and I bought. Sometimes back, a long time ago, years ago, I bought a slew of these things, and I love this one. And it said, "The rules have changed." I love that. The rules have changed. It's changed. Today is a very good day. Today, I'm thinking very, very good. The patient, namely these United States, is looking much, much better. The patient appears to be making it. The patient is improving incredibly. And my friends, I want you to listen to me. There's a great Kam song, as Chin Ho once extolled, and the great Hawaii Bible, we're all in this together, brother. All of us are in this. And I promised you that I'm going to do one thing and one thing only. I'm only going to tell you what I think is the truth, what I see that's happening. I'm not going to be a glad-hander. I'm not going to spend my time just sitting around and just making fun of people, unless there's a reason to do it, unless I'm able to show and explain to you that there is a tremendous tide and change and a complete and total, dare I say, a complete and total redirection that is before us, unlike anything I've ever seen before. Seriously, unlike anything I've ever seen. My friends, social media, like never before, and I'm going to use that term, social media, platforms, and the like. It's absolutely changing everything. Today was the last day in New York that we had 880 WCBS, an AM all-news station. It flipped to sports. And I'm sorry to see this. I'm sorry to see people lose and affect their jobs. But what are you going to do? This is it. In my own town, there are these newspaper people who still talk about the day that the Tampa Times shut down and the Tampa Tribune became merged into the Tampa Bay Times, this little penny saver of that. And there are people who don't know it. I'm not here to mock that particular medium. I'm telling you, it's a different world now. And what is significant more than anything you can imagine is the addition of this new force, the Troika, the triumvirate, the trio, the triad, Musk, Kennedy, and Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is on Sean Ryan, Theo Vaughn. Brilliant. Why is this important? Why is this important? You want to go on as many shows to convey a very simple thought. I'm going to tell you. You know what the thought is? You're going to laugh at this, but I'm going to tell you. The simple thought is that Trump is cool. It's okay. I like him. He's one of us. It's okay to like him. Hey, it's okay. Eddie Griffin, great black comic. Filthy, but necessarily filthy. Absolutely 100% in for Trump. I'm going to show you some things. But first, I want to do this, and I want you to listen to me carefully. Number one, I got to say this. On the 26th of October, I can't even imagine it. On the 26th of October, I'm going to be at the cutting room here in New York City. It will be 10 days before the election. What is going to be the most monumental, this is the last chance that we get to correct this and get 4 more years of Donald Trump, who has risked his life for this. I can't even put it into words. And it's not going to be somebody standing up there and doing a set. I'm going to do a set. Here are my jokes. There are no jokes. The jokes, the joke is Kamala and this Scheisse storm that we're in. We have note cards. You ask me questions. We talk. We converse. This is like nobody. I mean, nobody does this. Nobody does it. I walk out there. The story writes itself that day. Play some music. Do some gut bucket. To and fro. There's. I'm not. Look, you may not think it's the best, but nobody does it like this. Nobody, because they do a set. You can't say to somebody, "Hey, Jon Stewart. Hey, Bill Maher. Go on and wing it. See what they say. Go on and just find out the day you're going to go on, that day, that moment." That's what this is. That's what we do every single day. That's what a lot of us do. Okay, enough with the self-adulation. That's number one. Number two, emergency food. That should be it. Emergency food. Thank you. Emergency food. You should say, got it. Emergency food. Understood. Emergency food. Got it. Prepare with Lionel.com. They have right now a mega 3-month emergency food kit right now. A special, save $300 on a 3-month emergency food kit. 3 months. You could not replicate that on your best day. Let me see. Now, why would we do that? To save your life. How's that? Pretty good, huh? Pretty self-explanatory. And then finally, this beautiful, self-righteous, this inglorious bastard, I love him. I'm sorry. They can't put him down. Mike Lindell, mypillow.com. Look, I'm not asking you to check into mypillow.com promo code Lionel or mypillow.com/Lionel for some kind of charity. This is the best stuff available. But the company and the man, superb. Okay. There was a time where we need a little man. We are the world. Okay. There was a time when the young folks were considered cool. Excuse me, not the young folks, the left, the Democrats. They were the left. Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and Woodstock, and Neil Young, and it was good. It was like cool, man. It was hep. We call it hep. And something happened. The shadow government came in and invariably took over this political movement and put together the biggest group of doofuses you or anybody have ever seen. Do you know what an emetic is? Have you ever heard the term emetic? What is an emetic? An emetic is a substance that induces vomiting by stimulating the chemoreceptor trigger zone, or the CTZ, in the brain, or by irritating the stomach lining. When the CTZ is activated, it sends signals to the vomiting center in the brain, triggering the emesis, or the vomiting reflex. This reflex causes the stomach to contract forcefully, expelling its contents. Emetics are typically used in cases of poisoning or overdose to quickly remove toxic substances from the stomach before they can be absorbed into the bloodstream. However, their use is often restricted to specific controlled situations. I'm going to show you one of the most serious and the most effective emetics I have ever seen. And you are going to be amazed by this. But let me just warn you. If you're driving, if you're watching this, if you're eating, if you're breastfeeding or have some type of a pacemaker, consult your physician before watching this. This is the cool kids from your Democratic Party. Any questions? Any questions? Any ideas? Any thoughts as to these people? You see, we're winning because the rules have changed. And what they did was they took all these people out there and they said, we're going to send them to the DNC. Yeah, that's it. We're going to have these what the hell, I forget the word, these not instigators, these oh, for God's sakes, you know what I'm talking about, these influencers. Jesus God, it's the age. It's creeping up on me. It's creeping up on me. It's my senescence, my decrepitude. Hardly. Anyway, these influencers, they set them loose. So they have this new feller, I've got his name, but he said, I'm going to send out our influence. He's really kind of a double agent. And let's see if these influencers are able to pick up what I'm doing. And this, you might have missed this, but I thought this was so perfect. Listen to how clueless this influencer is, who doesn't realize she's being had.
Free abortions.
Yes, Queen.
Free gender-affirming care for migrants.
Yes, Queen.
Child tax credits for dogs.
Yes, Queen.
Ban standardized testing.
Yes, Queen.
Oh, yeah, like my ADD is so crazy. Get rid of those things, please.
Yes, Queen. Yeah.
Amazing. Different tax rate for white men.
Yes, Queen.
Amen, sister. Love you. Love her energy. She's a yes queener.
They have no idea what they're talking about. They have no clue. We're winning. We're just that going out sends to people the message in droves, in numbers, in passels, in groups, in hordes that you cannot imagine, by targeting the people that we want, people who would have never, ever, ever voted for Donald Trump. We're saying, in essence, it's okay. The other side, not cool anymore. Not cool. Don't you understand this? I've got this piece here. I don't know what this is. Oh, yes. I already played that for you. It is horrid. I'm so sorry to make you go through this. Hang on a minute. This is, I just have this potpourri, this pastiche, this myriad, this mosaic of stuff that's out there that's just, you're not going to see this with Jake Tapper. By gum. We'll be busy tomorrow. Happy birthday, Lionel. Oh, Bimmy Bean. Thank you so much, my friend. What a kind person. Buddha TT voices. It's sad to see that it's sad to see what Rudy Giuliani has become. I cringe when I see him speak. I know. I agree. Clown Steve, Dr. Dreamkiller says, I heard the DNC is still waiting for Beyonce. Yes, they're waiting for that, and for Mr. Goodbar. How about this one?
Let Kamala Harris fool you. Harris not only supports taxing service workers' tips, news reports confirm Biden and Harris have weaponized the IRS to confiscate your tip money. Harris and Biden have literally unleashed the IRS to harass workers who receive tips. And they just may be coming to your house next. Only President Trump has a plan that ends all taxes on service workers' tips. President Trump, he's on your side.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Little by little. Oh, when you, Mrs. Ellen and I went to an incredible place in the hood today. Wonderful. And they got a beautiful meal. And a wonderful, kind of a Middle Eastern, Israeli, Lebanese, Yemen. It's wonderful. Make a long story short, as we're there, the tip, if these tips are untaxed, you've just basically given these incredible waiters and waitresses a raise without having to make the owner pay them without raising increases in the cost of the food. It makes all of those people, every one of them with an earring, with the pink hair, are going to say, that issue means more to me than anything. I'll never forget, I had a relative, young man in our family. His first job. He first job he worked at I think it was like Publix or something here in Florida. He got his Sean Lucan, thank you so much. Lucan the Toucan, thank you so much for that. He went and he got his check, his paycheck for the first time, and his jaw dropped. He said, but I was supposed to make, and he had it all money. I work so many hours, he gets such and such per hour. He never saw taxes. And this is in Florida, where they don't have income tax. Here in New York, we have state income tax. We got city. We got, oh my God, you can't believe it. And he just has, federal. That's it. And he couldn't believe it. I said, now do you understand what taxes are? Now do you understand what this means? Now do you understand? It's one of those things which is the most. You are going to take more home because it's your money. You're going to keep more of your money. That's different than saying, I'm not going to tax you as much. Always remember how you say it. It's how you say it. You're going to keep more of your money. Hey, all you folks, have you had a big deal about how you're going to, what is this? How you have this, people are all excited about, what is it? They'll say something like, I got a refund. You got a refund? A refund? No, it's your money. What do you mean you got a refund? What are you talking about? Freedom, ladies and gentlemen. Donald J. Trump, no other choice. It's a no-brainer of common sense and real republic once again. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're seeing it left and right, over and over and over, everywhere we go. And here we go. Here's a man, like I told you, who basically is a great prompter reader. And he says it best. And even he's making it sound kind of cool to make fun of.
They had a guy yelling, screw the billionaires, followed immediately by a very happy billionaire. It's all okay if it's our billionaire. Guys making fun of people for going to Yale, and a bunch of people who went to Yale. The Democrats had people who prosecuted sexual predators and there goes that booking.
Do you see what's happening? Do you see what's happening? Do you grasp this? Do you see it? I do. I do. It's cool. It's okay. It's okay. It's great. It's wonderful. Because it's cool to make fun of them. See, this is the worst thing in the world you can do, is to not be cool. That's the part which is the most important. That's the part. To not be cool is one of the worst things you can imagine. And that's what they're saying. Over and over and over again. And interestingly enough, I don't know what Jake Tapper's doing. By the way, inside skinny in the industry, what is Zaslav doing everything? Does he know what he's doing? I don't care about that. But there's some very serious industry concerns about whether he knows anything about what's going on and whether he is in fact destroying what is in fact the system. Fascinating. Fascinating. Now, my friends, look at Jake Tapper with Lindsey Graham, who I'm not a Lindsey Graham fan in the least. But watch this and ask yourself, why are we seeing
to politics? The Democratic Convention generated a lot of energy this week. Millions of viewers tuned in, a bit more than tuned into the Republican Convention. It was disciplined. It was well produced. It conveyed patriotism and unity. The Harris campaign says it's raised an eye-popping $540 million in 35 days. You are as close to Donald Trump as anyone. Is what he saw this week making him and his campaign nervous at all?
Well, I didn't see what you saw. If you're a Republican, you saw a hate fest. You saw a hate fest full of insults. And Donald Trump said to Barack Obama, "You're a nice man," after President Obama, insulted and jabbed President Trump continuously. It was designed to draw him into an exchange of insults. It was light on policy, heavy on insults. So I told President Trump then and now, you're going to win this thing if you focus on policy. Americans are not joyful when they go to the gas station and fill up their car. They're not joyful when they make their mortgage payment. They're not joyful when they go to the grocery store. People are hurting. And this whole joy love fest doesn't exist in the real world. Gas was $1.87 a gallon when President Trump left office. We had the most secure border in the last 40 years. Inflation was down, not up, and the world was not on fire. So 60% of Americans are not joyful. They believe their country is going in the wrong direction.
Yes.
And I think President Trump offers the best solution to change the trajectory of the country. And finally, if you're waiting on Kamala Harris to come up with new policies, you're going to die waiting, because she will continue what they've been doing for the last 4 years. That's why she has no new policies to offer, because they're going to keep doing the same old thing.
Yes. That is exactly right. Do you see what's happening? And where is Kamala? I don't know. Where is she? I don't know. What is she doing? I don't know. When is she going to be? I don't know. Is she going to plan it? I don't know. Well, who's going to be doing this? Is she going to have proxies? Are you going to have to go to CNN to hear from her? We don't know. Does she think that she can sit by and sit back and wait and wait? Think about this. And wait for 72 days of saying nothing? Do they think that? I think they do. I think they do think that. I really, honestly, God, think they do think that. And let me show you something which is very interesting. This is the part, this is the thing which I love and I cannot put a price on at all. It's the idea where people are saying, it's okay. Trump is cool. A lot of folks, Bobby the K, Elon, a lot of folks, when he's talking, whoever is told him, did you see him with Theo Vaughn, by the way? Freedom says, are we going to wake up the next morning after the voting is over, knowing Trump was leading the night before, and find out Kamala cheated massively, just like Biden did in 2020? They're going to do it again. Freedom, I thank you, but they're going to try to do it again. They're going to try, my friend, to cheat fair and square. And thank you for that. But Trump is saying it's okay. There's a fellow named Sean Ryan. Do you know who he is? Sean Ryan is a very interesting, he's a ex-Navy SEAL, or some would say SIL, like Joe Scarborough, who cannot pronounce long E's, long vowels. He's a Navy SIL. And we're going to put you in jail. We're going to put you in jail. In fact, Kevin says, I'm waiting for her to dodge the debate somehow. Oh, no, This one she's going to have to make. And in Philly, they can't wait. Watch Trump with this and watch his countenance and tell me, assume you're watching him. There are people who are seeing him for the first time who have never watched him at a rally. Tell me what you think.
That Elon Musk said that he would accept a position in your cabinet. Would that have to do with artificial intelligence?
So
if
Elon
you chose
and
him?
I have a great relationship. He's great. He is a totally unusual character. Do you know Elon at all?
I don't.
He's great. And he's smart. And we have to cherish our geniuses. You know, we don't have too many of them, right? But he is a brilliant guy. And what he really would like to do is get involved in cutting some of the fat. And he does know how to do it. And he loves the country. You know, it's just an amazing thing. We had a conversation the other day. You would know better than me, but I hear it had hundreds of millions of people. I heard it had the biggest audience that there's ever been. I mean, would you say that's a correct statement?
I would absolutely say
there's
that's
never been
correct.
anything even close. I heard 750 million people. I mean, numbers that are crazy. And yeah, he wants to be involved. Now, look, he's running big businesses and all that, so he can't really, I don't think he'd be cabinet. I'd put him in the cabinet, absolutely, but I don't know how he could do that with all the things he's got going. But he can sort of, as the expression goes, consult with the country and give you some very good ideas. Like on AI, there's nobody knows more about it than Elon.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big, big thing. And he said it's very important. I mean, it's very important for the country. If we don't do it, China's going to do it, or somebody else, but most likely China. And China is working right now to develop massive electricity, a flood of electricity, a massive flood of electricity. And we don't, because we have people that they're not even thinking about that.
Yeah.
And we have to win this election. This election is November 5th will be the most important day, in my opinion, in the history of our country. Because if our country goes the wrong way with this election, I think this country is doomed.
Okay. Why did you like that? Did you like that? You should have liked that. Why did you like that? Tell me what you noticed about it. Be honest with me. First of all, Sean Ryan's very good. He does Navy SEALs and he talks about stuff, and I think he had his own drug. I don't know. He's very interesting, but he's very popular. More people than News Nation, CNN, Fox, any of them combined. How does that work? Notice the way he didn't say me, I. He said, do you know Elon? Oh, he's a great guy. Isn't that great? Wouldn't that be great for him to even ask you? Do you know Elon? Do I know Elon? No, I don't know Elon. But for him to think, okay, maybe I'm putting you in the same category. The way he was sitting, he's like a guest. He wasn't when Bobby Kennedy sits, he sits like this. I hate the way he sits. I'm sorry, it looks like he owns the place. But this was like the most. Did you see Trump with Theo Vaughn? Theo Vaughn's like, well, I'm 10 years of rehab. He goes, really? What were you in rehab for? I mean, it's great. I'll get that for you. I listen. I can listen to rehab stories for like 30 seconds. I got it. Listen, God bless you. Go ahead. It's not my cup of tea. But I never saw this. I'm thinking, they love that guy. When you watch him on these shows, you say, that's Trump? More people saw that. See, my friends, do the math. I say it, you say it multiplies. It extrapolates. It's exponential. It's like nothing anybody has ever. There's nothing like this format. And it goes to you on your phone, in your head, in your private space. It's the most important means of communication in the history of mankind. And it's what I love. I want people to see. I don't want the rallies. I don't want them. We have habituated to the rallies. We have habituated to the rallies. Trump could do something which I always said he should do. He should pick up what Jackie Kennedy did. And he can't do it now, but when he was in the White House, he could say, I'm going to take you to the White House. Get a camera crew. Let me show you something. This is the green room. This is this. This is the Lincoln bedroom. You can see these things. Look at this one green room, red room, the painting of John Tyler, famous one. And he's got a newspaper crumpled in his hands because he hated the press. You're in history you can't believe. The Oval Office, you can't believe. This is what he needs to show people. He's got to show people what it is. All these to familiarize where people will like you. Just then, that little clip, and I'm telling you with others, he is. Let me show you something about AI. I have tried my best, and I can't do this because no matter how hard I try, I'm not very effective. The number one, the existential threat to humankind is AI, artificial intelligence. I'm not even going to bring up artificial general intelligence because the potential for destruction is out of control. I want to show you something. These are robots. This is going to do something that is going to be so real. Big Dick from Chi-Town knows it. Big Dick, come on, Uncle Kenny, I love it. Is it Uncle Kenny or Uncle Lenny? It doesn't matter. Maybe it's Uncle Kenny. I don't know. Thank you, my friend. You're going to see people that are so real, it's going to blow your mind. It's going to be offered to you as a means of helping autistic kids and those who suffer from spectrum disorders, where it can spend time learning. It has a 300 to 400 IQ. It learns. It's able to learn. Kevin says, I agree, Uncle Lenny. The private, intimate, one-on-one conversations are the best for Trump. Hello to everyone from Casper, Wyoming. Yes, sir. Is that near Chugwater? Casper. I think I went to, we drove to, isn't Casper the big, isn't that the big railroad hub, Union Pacific? Isn't that it? I think Mrs. L and I drove to Casper. We went to Chugwater and then went up to, that was great. That was, loved that place. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know why. Flat, those mountains are flat, like somebody took a chainsaw and just cut them. It was incredible. About an hour and a half from Chugwater, yeah? How about those mountains? What do you call those mountains, Kevin? That's just it's the most incredible thing. You think to yourself, is this an illusion? It's beautiful. And driving with winds, it's like, oh my God. Great part of the country. In any event, imagine you're talking to somebody, and this thing, imagine a 300, an 800-pound gorilla with a 400 IQ. And it sits here, and it says, I know exactly what's going on. I'm going to talk to your son. I'm going to make eye contact. I'm going to do things. I'm going to be able to tell. I'm going to be able to have sniffing sensors. I'll be able to tell chemical imbalances. I'll be able to tell sweat. I'll be able to read rubescence, rubefaction. I'll be able to read capillary radiance, so to speak. I'll know feelings of fear, of embarrassment, of trepidation. I'll know anxiety. I'll tell when panic attacks are coming. I can do, oh my God. Conversely, you're going to have people who are going to replace human beings. You're going to have people who are going to marry their robot. Their robot is not going to be a robot. Their robot's going to know them. You've never seen anything like this. Better than humans. Better. You will go to restaurants and you will see these people bring in their AI. I promise you, you will see them on planes. They will replace therapy dogs and the like. Skeptic says, well, you need to find some medication because you have diarrhea of the mouth. Not that you're not entertaining. I don't think I have logorrhea, but thank you very much. Now, let's talk about this. I want you to watch this. This is our friend, Mr. Kennedy, speaking before Fox. And this was so important and so critical. So critical. And I want you to watch it very carefully and listen to his smooth countenance.
Actively, I think President Trump is going to make a series of announcements about other Democrats who are joining his campaign, and I want to make America healthy again, and so does President Trump. So those are objectives. The Wall Street Journal may be worried about shareholder value for pharmaceutical companies, and I think, I talked specifically to President Trump about that issue, and he said that he wanted to leave as his legacy healthy children, and that, that he was unconcerned about the other implications.
Do you notice how they're also showing the nicer Trump, the softer Trump? And remember, Bobby, and I'm telling you this again, always know how to phrase it. It's not that we want to make kids healthy again, because that's been a refrain for a long time. This is a different story. We want to know why we can do things to children in our country that you can't do in others. That's the story. That's the story. You know what I'm saying? That's the way to say this. It's knowing how to rephrase it. Just like, for example, when you talk about tips, don't you say no tax on tips? You can say, we want you to keep your money. You earn that. It's your money. We want you to keep your money. Didn't it sound better than I'm going to lower taxes? Well, taxes sounds like we're kind of used to taxes. We're not even sure what taxes are. We've heard this before. Say it in a way that sounds a little bit better. By the way, as far as the AI, those aren't robots. Remember, robots is a Roomba. A robot is something that you program to do the same thing. A robot is what happens in a plant, where it turns a button or turns a wrench or paints something or welds something. They don't think. They don't learn. A robot is something that just does something that you program. But with AI, it programs you. It's a completely different story. Now, there's another aspect of this. This is interesting, too, because you're seeing dissent, which is even more delicious, in the Democratic Party. Listen to this. It's not an automaton, by the way. Remember, this is not a robot we're talking about. Let me just say that. Do not call this a robot. Just like the word communism. It's not communism. It's not a robot. We're not talking about AI. It's not a robot. It's not a robot. It learns. A robot is, how are you? No. This one knows everything about you. It learns. It can take in everything about you. It can say to you, this reminds you of your mother, doesn't it? On its own, because it heard you say something. Or it just poured over every bit of your social media. It read every text message, every tweet, every Facebook post. It's looked at every one of you and your friends. It knows the name of your family. It knows where you've lived. It knows everything about you. And it's able to collate this and learn at a rate you've never even thought possible. This is not a robot. This is not a robot. This is something that people can't even understand or grasp. Now, I told you this before. I want there to be a complete fracture of the Democratic Party. And Gavin Newsom is so upset with what happened because they told him it was going to be you. It was going to be you. He had planned on it. This is what they were waiting for, an open convention. But that all changed. Watch Gavin here and listen to his sarcasm and anger.
It's different. How are you feeling about the switch? I mean, the switch. Now we went through a very open process and a very inclusive process. It was bottom up. I don't know if you know that. Yes, that's what I've been told to say.
Yes, it was a blitz primary, I believe is what they called it.
It's a very, very fast blitz.
I think it was
a blink primary, so we call that.
A 30-minute convention. Between a tweet and another tweet.
It's amazing how it happened.
Yeah, it's been amazing. But what is amazing is how unified everybody is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's next level.
So.
Do you see what happened? See what this is? Do you see this? This is so beautiful. This is beyond just the regular stuff here. This is a party that's going through some serious problems. They don't like her. They don't want her. She was never supposed to be in the offing. She was never supposed to be a part of this ever. Do you hear what I'm saying? This is wonderful. And look at what's happening. He's talking to everybody. And he's talking, there's something that is so, I know you may not like this, but I'm tired of the rallies. The rallies are just, we're done. I can't tell one rally from the next. Have you ever looked at a rally and said, is this a new one? Text Trump, whatever, Trump in Las Vegas. Is this a new one? Is this an old one? I don't know. I can't tell. They look alike. They sound alike. He makes the same jokes. Lee Green. We've habituated to it. It's kind of like white noise. But you see when he goes on these shows and he talks. Oh, my God. And he knows how to do it. He's very smart. And you also have people who are not going after him, obviously. I mean, Sean Ryan could have been a real jerk, but he wasn't. But he could do so much to be able to explain to people, this is what I want to do. And it's great for people to talk about policies. Throw some things at us that'll blow your mind. If, for example, the president says, let's assume I'm President Trump. And I said, John, without going into detail, and you can understand intel, and you can understand the notion of keeping quiet, obviously, yes. Do you know, Sean, how many things happen that we never really, how do I say this, that we don't let people know about? When you're a president, you don't announce everything where tragedy is averted, where the good guys are successful, or where the good guys lose, or where the bad guys win. You don't let everybody know every single thing, because a lot of the operations are secret, as you know. A lot of the operations are military and political. A lot of them haven't. It takes a while. I heard a great line today. It says the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth is 6 months. I like that. So if he did this, there was a story, there was a piece of Alex Jones speaking with Bobby Kennedy. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. But Alex started off becoming revved up and talking about, whatever he does. People find this absolutely fascinating. People find this fascinating. If Bobby Kennedy sits here and says to you, let me start off with something. Number one, let me ask you a question. Do you know why? And let me ask you, my friends, a question. Do you know why there have never been any open hearings on the relationship between SSRIs and homicidal behavior? Have you wondered about that? Have you wondered why something that is given out, and I'm going to read something to you. And this, when he pulls it out, is the instructions, which nobody reads, but these are the instructions that come with SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. And what happens when you play around with this? And I want you to read, I want you to listen. In fact, let me hand it to you if you can read. This is small print. And I want you to read not the contraindications, not the side effects, but the effects. And understand that the effects that are the most prevalent, the most likely, the most powerful are listed first. And also understand that to have them listen, it takes these farmers, they have fought for years with lawyers and others to keep this off the list. You understand that? Read that. And then we'll read something to the effect of suicide or homicide. How is it that we have a pill? And by the way, these have done wonderful, wonderful impacts on people's lives. There are people watching right now, whose lives have been spared, whose lives have been returned, who were the light was turned on again by virtue of SSRI. So I'm not saying they should be banned or anything along those lines. Let me just ask you this. Why is it that we have not had any hearings on that? Let me tell you something. The reason why is simply this. Can you imagine there being a substance that is on the market today that is associated with suicide and homicides? Do you know what the product's liability would be? You're putting in the open commerce a substance used to treat depression that has as a side effect or an effect, depending how you look at it, murder, suicide. Do you see that? Who's going to look out for you? And do you think that people who are getting checks from Pfizer or Merck or this or big billions of dollars of industry, you think big tech, you think Zuckerberg, TikTok are big? You know what the biggest, if not the biggest, but I would say the biggest of them all is Big Agra. They're so big, you never even hear about them. That's how big they are. The companies you never hear anybody talk about GMOs. Doesn't even get there. Oh, you'll talk about TikTok. You'll talk about Zuckerberg. You'll talk about Facebook. You'll talk about hate crime and misinformation. Yeah, that you will. They don't have that much money. You never hear about it. Big Pharma, the last thing was maybe during COVID, and even that, it's a different story because it was life-threatening and, well, a lot of the people talk about it. You let people know this. And you can say, let me tell you something. And do you know why? Let me tell you whether, do you know why in Russia and China and many European countries, you don't have these foods? Because they don't have a big agra lobby in Leningrad or wherever, or say, not Leningrad, St. Petersburg or Moscow. They don't have it. Sochi. They don't have that. They don't have it. It doesn't exist. We have it. Citizens United. Okay, good, bad, or indifferent. Think about it. You have airline Boeing right now. Boeing, you've got 2 astronauts who won't be able to come back until January of next year. Do you know what they're going to be going? What do they do? Their bones are going to be, do you know the effect of the body was zero gravity? Oh my God. We're not even talking about them. Boeing? Mum's the word, baby. If Donald Trump says, let me ask you a question. Sean, do you mind if I call you Sean? Eddie, Theo, can I go? Who runs this country? Oh my God. A president of the United States. Who runs this country? I know what the rules say. I know the rules say. It's Congress, 3 branches, citizens. Right? Isn't that what you think? Isn't that what you think? Who's your lobbyist? Who? I've got somebody right now. They've got Microsoft and big tech and all this other. They're paying $2,500 an hour for. The most ridiculous stuff you've ever seen. The lobbying that you cannot believe. Who's your lobbyist? Who represents you? Nobody. I represent you. I'm at the top. I'm at the very top. Now, I'm not saying I'm the only one. We have a separation of powers. But this is something that people forget. And you're just assuming you've lost faith in this. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Do you know? And I love it. For some reason, they hit me with the 2025 project. I don't even know what the 2025 project is. But you know what, though? There's some good stuff in there. And they're hoping you don't read about it. That's what they do. They did the same thing with January 6th. January 6th, those people came. Let me ask you something. Theo, Sean, you were in the military. Sean, do you think that a guy with a pot belly and an eye patch wearing camis could basically beat the 82nd Airborne, 1st Marine Division? Do you think, I mean, even a couple of squads, a battalion here, come on. Stop. Do you think those folks at any time ever posed a real threat to our civilization or liberty? No. Why are they saying that? But Sean, let me ask you a question. During BLM and during Antifa, anybody say anything? No, in fact, Don Lemon and others, they were saying, this is just regular, this is just good old fashioned. Okay, so that's the thing Trump has to do. The thing. And let me explain something to you. As my good friend said, I have a friend, let's call him Vinny. Just pick that name out of nowhere, Vinny. He says, remember, we can drown them in our urine. And I know it sounds weird. It's kind of an undenism claim there. But there are so many of us. There are so many of us. We are so huge in number, so huge in size, so unbelievable in our power. Nobody can get near us. It's the most incredible thing anybody's ever seen. It's the most incredible thing anybody has ever seen. I can't say it enough. It's incredible. There are so many of us and so few of them. That's all. That's all. So that's the most important thing in the world. Now, my friends, what I want you to do is I want you to do this. I want you to relax, to refrain from freaking out. Let me tell you something right now. Let me let you make sure you understand something. We are winning unbelievably. Things have changed drastically in the past couple of days. And the thing that's going to make us different than anything else, the thing that is going to change everything, I promise you, is the implementation of this thing called social media. Social media is something they don't even understand it. It is the most powerful. I have friends of mine, they're in radio, God bless them, and they still do these things. Radio is still the most important way to reach people. I said, are you kidding me? God bless radio. It's where we got our start, and I love radio, and I wish radio was. But I mean, do you understand this? I can watch this commercial over and over. They can break it into clips. They can refer. They can retweet it. Once there's that Jake Tapper interview, it's out there. And it may or may not be quoted. It may or may not be of any note. But I've got people, millions and millions of people who tune in every single day. And when they walk away, it's so perfect what Trump is doing. People are saying, I like this guy. I like this guy. I didn't know that was Trump. That's what we want. Do you understand that? That's the thing which I want more than anything else. I want you. This is the most powerful medium, the most powerful platform. Nobody really can understand and grasp. And I know friends who said, well, these people aren't professional broadcasters. That's what people want. Nobody wants news, sports, and weather. You don't even know. They'll listen to somebody sitting, and there is sometimes something which is so perfect. The groove, the feeling. And somebody might be in their bedroom with an unmade bed behind them. They have no professional background. This girl, the Hawk Tua girl, I am telling you, when I just came up, it's one thing about YouTube. All of a sudden, somebody say, "Hey, they're on your feed or whatever." She is so naturally nice and not scary and not gross, but almost flirtatious. And I'm telling you, she would never be allowed on TV. But there's this organic sense where all of a sudden these people are hits. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's this person that comes out of who knows? You don't know where these people are coming from. There are people who are so genuine. Bill Maher doesn't have that. Bill Burr does. You don't know why you're going to like people. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it to you. There's some people who just don't, they're phony. And especially people who've been and I'm telling you, they've been in radio for so long, they've kept this veneer up. There's this artificial barrier. They don't speak like normal. They don't. They speak radio-esque. And I don't mean that. The timbre of the voice or the depth. I don't mean that. I mean, it's the way it's artificial. When you're sitting on a couch or you're sitting in two chairs looking at each other, and there's Sean Ryan, he's talking with, it was one of the best interviews. And there's no interruption. We're going to take a break right now. We're talking to Donald Trump, President of the United States. Can you hold for 1 second? Let's go right now to Jerry up in the sky with traffic. Jerry, let's go right now to Sunshine Diet. I guarantee to win 40 pounds or whatever. And he has all the fruits and vegetables in a capsule every day. So that's Nature's Bounty. Coming back to this. And also, and they're going to stop and go back. The weather, it doesn't, you kill it. And the reason why people do it is because, well, that pays the bills. We don't want that anymore. Crypto says, I really love Uncle Don and Uncle Lenny. Thank you. Uncle Don would be the thing that's the most important about Donald Trump. I would say to him, if we're not going to do this, I don't want to do it. But I want people to listen to you and say, I never knew. If you would have told me that was Donald Trump, I would have never known. I would have talked about something nobody else ever talked about. Grandkids. When you're a grandfather, you could say, it's one thing you got kids or one thing, but your grandkids are special. They're removed. They look at you differently. You look at them differently. And you realize, oh my God, what they're in store for. Oh, you almost don't even want to tell them. You know how that's like. Sean, I know. You know how that's like. Sean, you were a Navy SEAL. You know what my dream is one day? To have a Navy SEAL go the way of the spittoon polisher. I want war to be obsolete. I don't believe. Sean, do you believe that war is a guaranteed aspect of the human condition? I hope not. I don't believe so. War is nothing but negotiation. And there are some bad people. Hitler was a bad person. Napoleon. These people were absolutely bellicose, never going to go to war no matter what. Because they were holding and there are a lot of folks, believe it or not, in the Middle East who come from the world of Saladin and, the guys with the swords and the whole bit. But most people, no. And the hardest thing, Sean, the hardest thing is to be able to sit down with Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, and say, I understand exactly what you want. I understand what you're doing. Bibi, I understand what you want. Abu Mazen, I understand what you want. The head of Hamas, Sinwar, I understand what you're doing. I understand what you want. I got it. I understand 100%. I understand it. Now, what are we going to do about this? How do we fix this? Is there any kind of compromise? Well, do you think you're going to be able to blow these people away? Do you think what are you going to do? Do you think you're going to go into, see, the question nobody's asking is, hey, Vladimir Zelensky, why did Boris Johnson tell you couldn't negotiate with Trump? Why did they stop that? Most people don't know that. They have no idea. I don't want to belabor the point. All I'm saying is that we are winning. That's all I'm going to say right now. So my friends, I thank you immensely. Don't forget, preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com. mypillow.com/Lionel or promo code Lionel. And October the 26th at the cutting room, I've got right here on in the comment section or the section of the piece of the YouTube piece, there is the links to that as well. Now, dear friends, to Crypto Domini, thank you. Kevin Uvery, thank you. I think I said Kevin. Freedom, thank you so much. John Lucan. Bimmy Bean, thank you for the birthday wish. Appreciate it. Buddha TT Boy, thank you. And Clone Steve, Dr. Dream Killer. Thank you as well for that. Don't forget to follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. It means the most. Lynn's Warriors. Oh, here we go. I forgot that Robin Watkins says, your KP this ID girl from, oh, you keep this, oh, Idaho girl, is that a girl from Freaking Out? Excellent. I'll tell you when to freak out. Not yet. There's no reason to freak out. Things are looking, I told you, and I mean this. These things are changing very drastically. And everybody's trying so hard to either looking at things too microscopically or too telescopically. They're either too close or too far away. And they're looking at numbers. Numbers now? What are you looking at now for? It's like the first quarter of the game, the first down, first quarter of a football game. Just wait. Yeah, but statistics show that every past Super Bowl, the first team to score in the first quarter. Would you shut up with that? Just watch. Not yet. We're not gonna freak out yet about this. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to predict what's going to happen. He's going to win. Now, let me say something right now. He is going to win, provided the Democrats do not cheat on the level fair and square. Okay? That's like saying Usain Bolt is going to beat me in a race, provided he doesn't cheat. You know what I mean? That's like, okay, well, maybe he won't have to cheat, but that's the point. That's a move. Number two, there's nothing there. And you cannot build momentum. Say what you want. Donald Trump, boy, there's some momentum there. Joe Biden's been around for 50 years. Joe Biden knows what he's doing. He may not be that great right now. By the way, is he in charge right now? Who knows? Does he know? Does Joe Biden have any idea? I don't know. Does Joe Biden? I have no idea. Where is Joe Biden? Who knows? Nobody. Okay, fine. There is nothing to Kamala. Now, I'm going to say this, not to be mean. She literally, actually, truly has no idea what she's talking about. She doesn't understand the nuances. She doesn't understand the implications. She doesn't understand the message and the theme and the music of what it means to run for office. She has no idea. And we know this. And as you can see, everybody is picking up on the joke. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious and a wonderful day. Thank you so much for your kindness. Thank you so much for being this. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. By the way, there's a brand new drop, but I had to tell you about my complete and total disgust over the new phrase, literally, bruh, which I provide an exposition into my way of thinking as to how it drives me nuts. All right, dear friends, we love you. Remember, the rules have changed. Donald Trump, hang in there. Relax. Things are looking great. Nothing's perfect. Don't measure the curtains yet. Just wait. But we're looking great. All right, my friends. See you tomorrow at 8 a.m. But don't forget, the monkey said the show's over.